Hello and welcome to another video on JD's Booze Reviews. Apologies for the lighting because we are out and about. We are currently on our way to the train station and we are going to go to my hometown. And in that hometown there is a local brewery who run a pub called the Station Hotel. Now what they are doing as a bit of a project experiment is they are attempting to perfect a beer style, essentially. What makes good beer great is what it's called, and the premise is they have brewed a base recipe for a beer, which is a pale ale. They are going to get the tasting panel that I'm going to be part of and general feedback to see what they can do to improve it. They will then go back to the drawing board, improve the recipe, do a second batch. We'll gather again in a month's time, try it again, see what we like, general public can see what they like, and then one more final time, improve it and try it, and that should be the good beer that is now great. So it's an interesting idea, great to get people's feedback and great to sort of understand what their drinkers want to drink and what they like in a beer. So very excited to be taking part. Not really sure how formal it is, how informal it is, but there'll be some formalities because it is quite a big decision for a brewery to make, to tweak a recipe. But let's get over there and see what it's all about. I should also mention that the panel consists of people that filled out a form, such as myself. It also includes some, I won't say higher ups, but members of CAMRA, the Real Ale Association. So should be very exciting. Just currently trekking it to a train station. So on my way, there's a little shout out to the Scruffy Dog, who are a pub that have their own brewery in the back, do a lot of different styles by themselves. Definitely worth checking out if you're in Sutton. In Ashfield, that is, not Caulfield. Whilst we're waiting for the train, I have just had another quick look at their website for the What Makes Good Beer Great campaign project, and it gives a list of the panelists, and that includes, as I mentioned, regular customers. It includes members of CAMRA, the local CAMRA division, and it also includes a couple of breweries from the local area, Castle Rock and Murphy and Sons. They're also involved in the tasting and part of the tasting panel. So there's some good names there, and I'm very excited to get on this train. Thankfully it's not too cold and it's not wet and rainy, and the wind's finally died down, so it's not too bad. And after a very short walk, we are now at the Station Hotel, run by Lincoln Green Brewery. So we are all done with the tasting panel. That was really interesting. We tried the beer and gave our honest feedback, filled out a form, spoke to the brewer, spoke to the owner of Lincoln Green, and they were very, very responsive to our feedback, which is brilliant. Exactly what you want to see. And they are going to take that forward to make the next beer, the next version, even better. The head brewer agreed with some of our comments, found some of the comments really interesting. So yeah, look forward to going back there in a month's time and seeing how it is. In terms of my feedback, the beer was okay. It had a big, ever long, ongoing bitterness, which for drinkability is not really what you want. So that's what the main feedback was, and I agree. So all in all, a really productive evening, I think. Hello and welcome back. I mean, for you it's the same video, but it is a month later for me. I am back in the evening in Hucknall, ready to try batch 2 of what makes a good beer great. Be interested to see what improvements have been made, whether the criticisms that we had in the first batch have been resolved, and whether there's any new sort of faults altogether. So it's going to be an interesting one again. Looking forward to it. Got there a little bit early because I came straight from work, so I'm going to go to another pub and try a beer or two before the main sort of tasting at the Station Hotel begins. So that was a quick flying visit to the Byron's Rest in Hucknall. Really small, really snug, really cosy pub. Always got some good beers on, really good ciders. Always one that I try and stop at whenever I come and visit the area. So I couldn't say no when I had a bit of time. Now back to Station Hotel and probably grab a drink there before tasting begins. And just like that, we are done. That was a really, really, really good beer on the second batch. They resolved all the issues that they said they were going to resolve. They toned down the bitterness, so it wasn't so astringently bitter, which really helped the beer. Had a lot more currant flavours, fruity flavours to flow through the beer. And overall, very, very enjoyable, and miles apart from batch 1. In terms of what I would do differently, it needed a bit more bitterness, but it actually sort of shone through the more and more you drank. So the only problem with that is that most people will order a half or a pint, maybe not get that full nuance of this beer, and then be like, oh, that wasn't as good as I thought it would be, and go for a different one. The whole point of this is to capture sort of the guests, the patrons of wherever this is being served, and get them to drink that beer. So just make it shine on sort of first pint, I guess. More aroma, a little bit more bitterness, not much. Don't want to go over the top like last time, but a slight tweak would make it way, way better. So with that, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll see you in a month's time for batch number 3. Hello once again on this very early morning. This is 20th of March, and tonight will be the final tasting of what makes a good beer great. Very excited, just going off to work this morning, but this evening we'll be going straight there and trying the last batch, the last version of this beer. which, fingers crossed, and how the process should have gone, because this should be the definitive version of that beer. Last batch was pretty darn good. Could drink a lot of that, so be interested to see if they have improved on that, or if the improvements have made it deprecate in other areas, should I say. So yeah, I will see you tonight for some short footage and a bit of chat and review from me once we're out. And just like that, or 8.5 hours, 7.5 hours, we have arrived in Hucknall now. So let's go and get ourselves into the station hotel for the third and final time for this experience. And just like that, we are done once again. Apologise for the lighting. We have finished with batch 3 of what makes a good beer great. What I thought would be the last has actually spun into an extra month. So we are going to meet back in a month's time to discuss everything that's gone on, because the beer was really good in my opinion. I think it's actually probably the better one. It had the drinkability of batch 2 with the bitterness of batch 1, which really floated my boat. But it didn't quite go to plan for the brew day or the brewing process. So they weren't quite happy with it in terms of it's not the beer that they wanted to put out to be tasted. But like I say, it's still pretty fantastic. But I think it might have lost a bit of the characteristics they were going for with everything that went off. So we're all going to meet back in a month's time. So this video will be slightly longer for you. But yeah, in terms of the beer, like I say, I really enjoyed it. I found it was really easy drinking, really moorish, a nice bitter note, but not too long lasting. So I think hopefully that remains from batch 4. So I will see you again in a month's time. Hello, back again for the 4th, maybe last, maybe not. So last time it wasn't the last trip to the station hotel for well, you know the reason, you're watching the same video. So we are gonna try what they think is the final batch, and they think that we're going to be pretty happy with this one from recent emails. So looking forward to trying it, and got a day of work first, so I'll catch you on the other side. We are done once again for, I think, the final time. Well, we've not been told this another time, so I'm presuming it's the final time. That batch was so interesting. Very complex beer, very different to the previous batches. Like, it broke something in me because I am someone who goes to a bar, to a pub, and has every beer on the rung, on the tap, on the, you know, on the every single tap that is available at that bar. I will have it if I've not had it before. This beer had me going back for more and more and more. In fact, after the beer tasting, as you saw, I went back for another. So it's a fabulous beer. There were some people who were not so sold on it, but I think, apart from maybe a slight tad of bitterness added to the end, a winner. I think if they sell that on a regular basis, that will do very, very well in their pubs. And I am honoured, privileged to be a part of this process of making this beer. I mean, that sounds like way more credit. I tried it and said what I like and said what I didn't like. The brewers behind it were the ones that made it what it is. So I am a small part in this journey, but hopefully it goes somewhere. So that is going to do it for this video. Probably quite a long video, probably a pretty epic video. Maybe not a massive amount shown of the beer tasting, because it was quite a, not serious, there was jokes, there was laughs, but at the end of the day we are trying to make, you know, the best beer that we can possibly get from these sessions. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers.